It's one thing to give yourself a terrible nickname like Playoff P. Obviously a lame move, especially if just a few days later you're gonna have your lunch money taken by the Utah Jazz. But it's another thing entirely to continue to lay claim to such a name when your resume is tattered with brutal playoff exits and countless buzzer beaters having been hit in your face. Okay, maybe not countless, but enough that Twitter user Pickup Hoop was able to piece together a 2-minute highlight video of some of the best eye-dottings that now Los Angeles Clipper Paul George has taken over the years. And man, it is something. Paul George has been getting buzzer beaters drilled in his face for so long that the first segment of the clip has him in a Pacers uniform, giving up a game winner to Rudy Gay. To George, this was 7 years, 2 teams, and a compound fracture to his leg ago. That is practically a lifetime. But for some reason, it just hasn't stopped. It still seems like once or twice a season, without fail, that George's left arm extended at the end of the game, contesting a shot that is destined to break his heart. The strange thing about George's struggle at the end of games is he's actually a really good defensive player. Like, really good. The All-NBA forward led the league in steals during the 2018-2019 season. He's been named to 4 All-Defense teams, and in all honesty, he probably deserved a few more selections than that. It's just hard for star players to earn recognition for their defensive prowess because the voters tend to favor specialists for these accolades. George also improved so drastically after the first 3 years of his career that I think it was hard for some voters to separate the PG of yesterday, who is still adjusting to the speed of the NBA game in his still growing body, to the defensive superstar that was blossoming in front of our eyes. Anyway, the point is, despite Paul George being a phenomenal defender, he always seems to find a way to end up on the wrong side of the opposing buzzer beaters. It is worth mentioning, however, that George's defensive prowess does in a backward sort of way perpetuate this most unfortunate trend. Because he is always the top dog on his team defensively, he often finds himself guarding the opposing team's best players. He is far more likely than the rest of his teammates to find himself as the on-ball defender. George's curse recently reared its ugly head again, this time in grand bubble fashion when he surrendered a freaking sweet mid-range jumper to Phoenix Sun guard Devin Booker. Book took him off the dribble, caught him leaning, and then spun back to nail the mid-ranger for the win. What made this shot even more impressive is Kawhi Leonard was also involved, sliding over for the double team, meaning that Booker hit the shot right in the face of 2 All-NBA talents who are also top-tier defenders in the league. At least old Playoff P wasn't alone in this one. By far the worst eye-dotting that George endured came at the hands of Damian Lillard during the 2019 playoffs. This was 1 year removed from his infamous Playoff P fiasco, when as a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, he proclaimed himself such before losing to the aforementioned Utah Jazz.
Y'all ain't met Playoff P yet. It's an out-of-body person where I just lock in and put myself into a different zone.
And during this matchup with Lillard and the Blazers, he and then teammate Russell Westbrook talked all sorts of trash about Lillard in Portland, only to have Dame Dolla hit one from the logo on him to seal the series. Although in this case, Lillard does deserve more credit than George deserves blame. The two are kind of hard to separate, but after having talked all that smack all series long, you simply can't let a guy do that to you. And George only made it worse for himself by proceeding to go to the media during the postgame and saying,
I mean, that's a bad shot. I don't care what anybody says, that's a bad shot. But he made it. That story won't be told that it was a bad shot. We live with that.
Hey, Paul. You know what story is going to be told? The story of you repeatedly getting buzzer beaters hit in your face, to the point that you openly wept about it to the media, calling it a bad shot. Come on, man. Not a good look from a guy who is supposed to be a superstar in the league. But hey, at least once he's retired and gone, he won't be forgotten. NBA historians will forever tell stories of the player who just couldn't stop giving up buzzer beaters. But hey, what's your favorite buzzer beater of all time? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.